Hi, I'm Rhiannon Wenning.
And I'm Genevieve Bassett.
And we are two recovering teachers. I have just taken a sabbatical for a year from being a social studies teacher for 23 years in a Title I high school. And I'm taking a break for my mental health and also for just my overall well-being. Teaching for 23 years really takes a lot out of a person. And I'm here to share our story and my story and everything we've been through, and just excited to get started.
Yes, ma'am. She's also leaving out that she taught for 23 years at her alma mater,
Yes.
which is a very awesome, incredible thing. And with that comes a lot of intense stories and emotions too, which we'll dive into.
Absolutely.
I am Genevieve Bassett. I am a career changer. I taught high school social studies for 14 years, all over the world, and also in Title I schools. Met Rhiannon doing union work. We both were strong union leaders in our teachers' union. And eventually we decided we wanted to try and make change from the inside. And Rhiannon ran for House District 30. I was her campaign manager. And the last 2 years, we've been kind of planning that, doing that, teaching full time, running a campaign. It didn't work out because it wasn't supposed to. And here we are. I also decided to leave the profession. I was laid off due to budget cuts. I had just moved districts and last in, first out. So that's sort of my story, and I took it as a sign that it was time to do something new. So Rhiannon and I are two recovering teachers. We are traveling. We are learning who we are, what our passions are, and we're really here to help folks unpack what public education is right now, where it's going, and give perspective on what we used to do as union leaders and all of our work in politics, and kind of talk a little bit about how the last year or so our worldview has been completely shattered.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot to go through there.
A lot to unpack, lots to talk about. And so we are two recovering teachers are here to unpack, to process our experiences for the past 23 years for me, but also
14 for me.
And kind of discuss what we've learned, what we need to do to fix the systems, because we learned it was too hard to fix from the inside.
It's impossible.
Absolutely. And so now we're going to take a look on how to dismantle these systems on the outside and really unpack what it means to have our hearts broken by three things that we love so much and we've put so much of our time, energy, and love into, but really looking at how public education, politics, and union broke our hearts. So I hope you all will join us and will come along with us on our journey through traveling and all of the other amazing things we are going to do, and what that means to be two recovering teachers and what we are doing to help heal and hopefully be able to share that knowledge and healing with y'all. So stay tuned to Two Recovering Teachers.
We can't wait to bring you on this journey.
Coming soon.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
As we embark on this new adventure. I have learned so much from my dear friend Rhiannon here over the last 4 or 5 years. And we've learned so much together and running a campaign. And so we're going to learn this podcasting thing together too.
Yep, absolutely.
So bear with us as we elder millennial Gen Xers over here figure out technology.
But we can do this
We're
because
gonna do.
we were public educators, and
We figured out a lot of technology. over those years.
absolutely.
Holy
And not to mention we're able to handle any situation presented to us and
Yes.
be able to navigate that situation with tons of small bodies.
Yeah.
But
Young adult bodies. Sometimes they were taller than me.
I mean, absolutely.
I'm taller than you. They were taller than a lot.
I mean,
both of us.
almost all of my students were taller than me.
Even middle schoolers. That's when it got weird, but
Well, it happens. I'm 5'2", so
I'm 5'2".
absolutely.
I'm still taller than you.
I know. So you're probably almost 5'3".
Maybe I grew.
Or I'm shrinking.
It's cheers.
Probably. Thank you, menopause. Thank you, menopause.
We'll talk about that shit too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I just want to address, like, we both left public education at the same time. It is December 2024. We've been out for, I'm not counting summer, August, September, October, November. 4 months. And I describe this to everyone that I speak to that's like, how is it going? When you are in an abusive relationship, you know that it's really bad. You know it's bad. Like, if it sucks, it hurts, that you're in pain. It's like, so it's traumatizing. And you know you got to get out. But we got out.
Yeah.
And to look back on what it was that we went through, it was like, it was so much worse than what I could even grasp. I mean, because we had to wake up every day and go teach children. So I'm just so grateful to be out and to have this time and space, because we've been doing a lot of really incredible things.
Absolutely.
Which we're excited to share. But yeah, this whole transition has just been so eye-opening. So, oh man.
I mean, thinking about with it, absolutely. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no.
But it being December, like reflecting on where I was a year ago, December.
Right.
You know, grades are due at the end of the semester. I have data to submit, end of the semester data to submit, because of course, teaching at a Title I school. Unfortunately, we were a turnaround school, and so there was extra work that we as teachers had to do, such as data collection. And so making sure we implemented our data on time, dealing with end of the year evaluations, on top of grades and students, bless their heart, coming to us at the last minute.
Oh God, Miss, what can I turn in? What can I do? What can I turn in? What can I turn in to get my grade up? I want to get my grade up. 150 of them coming at you.
Absolutely. And so,
and this time and space between Thanksgiving and Christmas, or fall break and winter break, whatever your district calls it, it is a twilight zone.
it is absolutely, I've seen it described as like Super Mario Kart, like when time is running out and you have to go super, super fast.
Yes.
It feels like that.
Where this music speeds up to a neck-breaking pace. Yep.
You know, and you have, you know, and then of course you throw all of the holiday celebrations on top of it.
Yeah, and like, because we are human beings with families and friends, and this is the time of year where everyone's having a goddamn party. God bless. I wish I could go to all of them.
Right.
I tried in my early career. It bit me in the ass. But yeah, you're just like, you're being pulled so many different ways in these weeks between. You good? Got a little tea. Tea happens.
We are not only going to spill tea on ourselves, we're going to spill the tea.
Yes, yes. And we're going to probably spill some wine too. Shit happens.
Sorry.
Tea
First.
To be able to laugh like this in the month of December is such an incredible gift.
It's a gift, because I wasn't laughing like this last December.
No.
And December's also hard, especially if you've lost a loved one.
I know.
I know for me personally, this time of year is really, really hard. Because, you know, I lost my mom 2 years ago, and Christmas was always special to us.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, it's just a reminder of the people who you love, who are no longer on this plane. And that can bring some feelings too. And
100%.
if you are, you know, a public educator and you have a family and trying to manage Christmas on top of
everything else.
It's a lot. And so we want to send our much love and appreciation to all educators right now in the month of December.
We're giving you a round of applause because no one else does, because you're all just trying to get through it and everyone is dead. We love you. We thank you.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
We know you can do it. I know it's hard, but the end is soon near, and soon you will be on Christmas break and hopefully be able to get some rest and have some fun times with your family and friends.
Yeah. Shout out to our brethren.
Shout out. I actually sent flowers to one of my teacher besties today because
I love that.
I know how hard this time of year.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Especially being in, she is a mom.
Single mom?
A single mom. And trying to manage being a single mom of a junior boy who is taller than you. Not to mention being a teacher she's teaching freshmen this year. And I know how that is. I taught freshmen.
God, most of my career I did.
But
God bless.
She taught me everything I knew about teaching and how to be a teacher and most importantly, how to be the best teacher. And so she needed some love in these dark times.
Absolutely.
Because it is dark times for educators right now.
Can you imagine? And that's one of the biggest gifts. We've had a lot of gifts after having left, but we're social studies teachers, not having to teach after the 2024 election.
Oh, because let me tell you,
biggest gift in my career.
Because I taught during all of the elections since 2001.
Oh my God.
But these past, from 2016 to 2020 or 2020, have been really challenging. And I taught because it was the time of COVID and we were teaching online, and teaching on Zoom, and had to teach the day after the insurrection.
Oh yeah, no. I was teaching teaching my American history class. It was our very first meeting on Zoom. And I always had CNN on in the background because I was a not gluttonous. Because I am a masochist and I guess. So anyways, we're doing the intros and like the it had gone from the rally to the march to the insurrection, and I was like, all right, juniors, you're gonna need to turn on the television or live YouTube, whatever you can do, because history is happening live
right
now, and I need to watch this live too. So we're gonna end class early, first day of the semester, and we'll see you next week.
Oy.
Oh my God, yes.
I was teaching civics, U.S. government at the time, and it was the beginning of the semester.
Yeah.
So I, was just getting to know my students, and, they had lots of questions.
Yeah.
And, I was telling them what I had, was told on the news and what I was reading online, of course, from valuable sources. And I had someone, a student's family member in the background, who then decided to chime in on the Zoom and started to berate me in front of all of the students on Zoom.
Were they a Trumper?
They were.
Oh.
And said I was spreading lies and how I was,
oh God,
trying to corrupt my students and their minds.
Oh my God, this has just happened. That is gaslighting to the max.
Spread my liberal agenda to my students. Never mind, I was just talking about, what was on, CNN and
literally live news that was capturing
AP, oh yes, literally live action. I had stayed up the night before, till 2 a.m. to make sure that the election was verified by Congress. And so it was very interesting, and I ended up having to remove that student out of the Zoom, and of course,
because we protect the flock. As teachers, we protect the flock.
Yep.
Meaning, yeah.
And having to apologize to the rest of the class, how sorry I was for that disturbance, and
I had a couple Trumper boys do similar things. Yeah, that I had to kick out too. But you protect the the whole group.
I was very lucky. I had a very understanding and he was amazing. AP, who had my back.
Oh, great.
And
good APs, you save teachers and keep them in the profession.
Absolutely.
Please stay strong.
Yep. Because we know this system also eats APs and administrators.
And they have no protections. Assistant principals have
None.
protections. Sorry.
Yep.
We'll go through the acronym alphabet dictionary that accompanies education speak and union speak. But AP is assistant principal. So,
yes.
middle of the middle management.
The middle of the middle management.
When they get paid better than anyone.
So yeah, it's been interesting. And so not being able to have to teach after this election is definitely, especially being a social studies teacher, has been a gift. And so shout out to all social studies teachers, especially those teaching U.S. government and U.S. history.
Any kind of history?
Because we know.
I got reprimanded at a school in Highlands Ranch that I taught at for 1 year. It was on purpose. In my U.S. history class, I quoted Trump, the grab her by the pussy quote, and the boys, the football boys specifically in my U.S. history class were uber offended. So they ratted me out. We had to have like a restorative circle with our counselors and my assistant principal, who also was amazing and had my back. And she said to me, like going into the whole thing, she said, I never thought I would live in a world where a U.S. history teacher got in trouble for quoting the current U.S. president. So, yeah. Oh, we don't have to do that shit anymore.
We don't have to do that anymore. Which is
I
really
can say
nice.
Trump, I can quote Trump however the I want now, and I will not get in trouble for it. So that's a really lovely gift.
Yeah, and the masks that we have to wear as teachers and that pressure of,
saying the right thing at the right, you have to be perfect always.
Yeah.
Especially in the age of technology.
Yeah.
God bless. I'm not inviting it, but like, how easy is it for a kid to just record you?
It happens all the time.
In any way, shape, or form. I had colleagues who were recorded who it backfired. It's just, anyway.
Yep.
Now we're going to record ourselves and put that out there on purpose. So thank you for being here.
Because we have our consent to do so. And that's different.
And our full fire and passion that we're allowed to show.
Absolutely. Because we don't have things holding us back now. We can't get fired from anything.
No. Cheers to that.
Oh, thank God. But so I hope that by sharing our stories and also by sharing what we've learned will help others to help navigate not only the current education system but also politics, because we have all kinds of stuff to share.
We learned a lot.
We definitely learned a lot. And
we thought we knew a lot as social studies teachers and union leaders, but we learned a lot more than
running for office was definitely an education. And again, we'll get into all kinds of fun stories and things that we've learned. But overall, it's been definitely interesting being taking a sabbatical.
Yes.
And because of which we have been able to qualify for Medicaid. And
we're on Medicaid. Well, because we're unemployed. So it's like, okay.
And so shout out to the Colorado legislature for making it possible for my income now to qualify for Medicaid.
Yeah. So we were able to apply for health care and we're on Medicaid now. Yeah. So cool.
And, we are both highly educated. I have 2 master's degrees.
I have 1.
And so navigating through this process, and even though we have the skills that we have and the ability that we have, whether that's access to technology, whether that's access to time, but having to navigate this system has been very interesting. And being a caretaker of my dad and helping him navigate this system was absolute hell. And now, being so grateful that I am on the healthcare that I do have, or have the access to healthcare that I do now. It's been very interesting to see how,
The difference in care?
the difference in care and how I'm treated, even on the phone and making appointments. I had a experience recently where I had to cancel one of my dentist appointments. So we were going on a trip to New York City and Salem, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I had to cancel my appointment, and I let them know that I had new dental insurance, and so I needed to reschedule the appointment. And as soon as I let her know what insurance I had, her entire demeanor, her voice, everything changed. And she got very almost like entitled and a little snotty and was like, "Oh, we don't take that." And I said, "What, you don't take?"
And you've been a patient there for
like a year, almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
2 years. And was treated very horribly. So I cannot even imagine what our students, what our friends, what our family members, others who have tried to manage this system and how they've been treated. But I also know people who have, employer insurance.
Yes.
Like your dad, for example.
Yes. My parents have had, great health insurance for a really long time, but it's not great because they deny. They have spent, my parents collectively, weeks of their lives every year on the phone with these health insurance companies to get pre-authorization, to get reimbursed for a prescription, to get the procedures and the health care that they need.
Yep.
And so,
Or
it
tests,
is a goddamn nightmare.
Things approved, so.
All of it. And it's broken my heart because I'm watching the people that I love go through this. It's a nightmare. It is its own level of hell. Okay.
Yep.
It's its own circle of hell, and knowing that that's probably my future too here in this country. It's just devastating. So I don't know, man. That kind of reminds me of our CEO assassin, United Healthcare assassin, which let's talk about.
Well, we have friends who have either declared bankruptcy because of healthcare or are about to because of healthcare costs.
Current public school educators,
and who have healthcare that are supposedly covered by the district, and talking about how school districts bargain, and
yes,
that's a whole other issue.
We'll get into that too.
Yes,
but we'll get into the nuances of all of these things.
But overall,
health insurance is negotiated.
Yes,
for public employees,
it is.
If you have a union. Otherwise, you're just given. But they're all every year. It's worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
And every year it is more and more and more. And
it is
astounding
expenses.
How much of some of our colleagues' paychecks are taken out for health insurance because they're a single mom and they have 3 kids or whatever. It can be almost up to 70% of their paycheck,
absolutely,
right? After everything else is taken out.
And that doesn't include things like childcare and, things like mortgage and like rent or food.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
The majority of their paycheck is going to healthcare, which they're then having to fight every step of the way, like everybody else. And so this is kind of like the exciting part for me about the CEO United Healthcare assassin, is he's woken up this conversation about class.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter if you're legal or not. The ruling class it's like the Wizard of Oz. The curtain is finally being removed.
Everyone's
like, yeah, I'm pissed too. Yeah. Anyways, I'm kind of here for that.
Now, definitely it is not okay to kill people. That's not what we're saying.
Rhiannon is not advocating for violence.
I am not advocating for violence.
I'm here
it's
for
necessary.
some vigilante shit, though, to quote Taylor Swift.
Violence is necessary when it's necessary.
This might have been necessary.
And what's interesting is like online and what we see, what I've been reading and seeing, and there is sympathy for the shooter and not the CEO that has been shot. And
any call for sympathy to the CEO has been just like dragged through the social medias in the best ways.
Because there are millions of people who have stories on navigating.
Everybody does. Every single American in this fucking country, unless you are a part of that 1%. But I also think that even then they know someone, right? Because people have reached out for their money, for their GoFundMe's, perhaps.
Yeah.
Every single human in this country has a story or knows someone who's been totally by the healthcare industry. It is obscene.
Who have, been denied coverage for, or denied testing, or denied, certain procedures that were
chemo or anesthesia. No.
Medication.
Yes.
Like, things that could really, and that, are peer reviewed and continuously get denied and denied. That puts a lot of stress, and it ends up literally killing people.
Yeah.
And so I see the rage. I see and understand that absolute anger and wanting to change. And I think, like you said, I think this sparked something that people are looking at this idea of class and having to, because there are so many people who are dealing with the financial hardships that this healthcare system has created.
Yes.
But also understanding this need that we've gotten to this point in our society in which we need vigilantes. It's shocking, but it's understand we're here. We're in this society now that it seems the only way that people hear is through violence. And not that we're advocating violence in any way, but as Malcolm X said, it's necessary when it's necessary. And unfortunately, it has taken this man to be,
who was discovered, I think, today. And God bless if he is not one of the hottest dudes.
Not to mention it's going to be interesting trying to find a jury that hasn't been affected by the healthcare system and to be absolute,
and who isn't attracted to him. This is the, but he does have due process, and he deserves due process. We'll see. We will see. And this is where I think Rhiannon and I are gonna be fun as we spar a little. Is that you really believe in the foundations of this government?
Yes,
you really do, and I don't. So. So we'll spar on that, but in theory, yes, he has due process. That was apparently caught eating breakfast at McDonald's this morning. I'm like, there is a nationwide manhunt out for you, bro. You are totally here to get caught. Like,
you're eating at McDonald's.
You are in public. I was like, whose friends, cousins, whatever the basement is he in? Like, how far did he get eating at McDonald's?
And not to mention just the cameras. There are cameras everywhere. Big Brother is real, and
especially in Midtown Manhattan,
where we were recently.
Yes, we got to travel to Times Square,
which
we stayed in Times Square for an incredible, New York City trip.
Oof. But I could see how they couldn't find him in New York City. It was nuts.
Yes, it was. It was,
and too if
you're wearing a hoodie and a mask too, comrades. Let that be your outdoor outfit. A hoodie and a mask. This is why they're banning masks in places. Mm-hmm. They want to be able to fully see your face everywhere you go in public.
Well, especially protesters who are protesting for Palestine.
Protesters, yes. Free Palestine. That's a whole other episode.
Yes, absolutely. But now that they have caught this man... it'll be very interesting to see the legal process after this. because he really opened up a conversation about not only the need for things like universal health care
And CEOs.
but also this class war.
Yes.
And this class war has existed for years.
But if we may transition into some witchy shit,
Absolutely.
this is
Which
like
we're both down for.
prime ass Pluto and Aquarius energy right here.
Absolutely. And, Age of Aquarius, which we have been in ages of Aquarius before in the 1960s, and look what happened in the 1960s. We had true societal upheaval and change. And maybe that's what we need now is to
100%.
I mean,
that's what we're seeing.
And that's exactly what we're seeing. So,
yeah. So we'll explain this. This has given us an opportunity to get a lot more into astrology and pagan and divine feminine teachings and learnings. But the last time the planet of Pluto, and it's a planet in my mind, okay, was in Aquarius was in the late 1770s.
And
what was happening
in the late 1770s? We have a few major empires that lost some colonies and began to crumble. We also had all kinds of revolution on multiple continents.
Such as the American Revolution.
Alexander Hamilton.
Which we saw on Broadway in New York. It was incredible. The French Revolution.
Yep.
The Haitian Revolution.
Thank you.
There are revolutions literally all over the world happening when Pluto went into Aquarius. So this transition happened a week or two ago. And
it's a month ago. Yeah,
is it almost
something like that.
What the fuck is time? And we've seen all of these things. So many things. Well, obviously our CEO killer, as we're discussing now, but we just saw the Syrian dictator fall like 4 or 5 days ago.
I saw it.
We've seen an attempted military coup in South Korea, and like the people be like, no, this is not happening on our watch.
We saw the Georgian citizens and who completely like started rioting when the Russians came in to try to take over. So yeah, it's you see it and you feel it, and I'm very grateful because this society, this world, our country, it needs to change. There are some massive changes that need to occur. There needs to be absolute systems that need to be upheaved, that need to be torn down and recreated.
Yep. Reimagined.
And we're here for it.
Yeah. We are here for it.
Because it needs to happen.
So, thank you for being here. Is this a good time to maybe wrap her up? This first one?
I think so.
This is just us. We are two educators, former educators, here to help unveil, the workings of this entire system on top of politics, on top of unions, like all of these different systems, through the lens of our own experience and current events and history. And now, is it astrology?
I would say astrology.
Witchy shit.
And, different ways of thinking.
Yeah.
We'll be providing advice on, what can you do to survive all of this. And
because we're right there with you.
Absolutely. We're living it too. And, being on a break from working, as I'm saying.
And campaigning.
Doing
both at the same time.
Just all of it. It has really given us some interesting perspective. And most importantly, it's allowed us the time to heal. And we hope that sharing our stories and our experiences and where we go from here will also be healing for not only us, but also for y'all. So hope you stay tuned to Two Recovering Teachers. So we have lots of tea that we love to spill and also lots of opinions. And those of us that know us know this about us.
We can be quite loud about them too.
And that's the time that we're in.
Yep.
It's Pluto and Aquarius. So let's go.
We were born for this.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Cheers.